Hi, Mrs. Little. My amendment, the First Amendment, talks about 4 really important topics. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, power to assemble, and power to petition. So what do these exactly mean? So freedom of religion. This means that the government can't say that everyone has to be one specific religion. So they can't all say, you now all have to be Christian, you now all have to be Jewish, you now all have to be a Muslim, or they can't even say, you all now have to be atheists. And this is historically significant because people came over from Europe because they weren't getting religious freedom. Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about is freedom of speech. This applies to if you have a concern or you want to say something like a news broadcaster, you're allowed to give your opinion freely and the government can't say anything about it because of this amendment. And you could say it to whoever you want. So if you're a news broadcaster, you could say it to everyone around you. Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about is power to assemble. So if you want to protest and you want to gather a large group of people to talk to the government about a law, you're allowed to do that because of this amendment. It gives you the ability to come into a large group and talk about a law or something that you don't like. Okay, next is power to petition. So power to petition is that you're allowed to go to the government and say, or give a request, ask something of them. And you're allowed to say it freely and they're not allowed to go against you. Okay, so there are some exceptions for this. So for freedom of speech, for example, you can't go into a movie theater and scream fire because you'll cause distress to the people around you. And when doing so, you're causing harm to them. So then the government can step in and say this was not allowed, and they can go against the amendment because it contradicts with other human interactions. Another exception for this is the power to assemble. Has an exception. It's that if you gather in a private property place where you're not allowed to, the government can shut you down and say this is not okay because you took over land that wasn't yours and wasn't able to be used. Finally, I want to give one more small little detail that I want to talk about how this is historically significant to us as citizens because this really gives us, power of speech gives us the say to what we want to. And it gives us the choice, and it gives off a message of that we should stand up for what we believe in, and whatever we think, whatever we don't believe in and what we think is wrong, we can go against the government and say, listen, I don't think this is right, and it really gives us a say. So I think my amendment is very important because it really gives us as the citizens a say to do what we want and stand up for what we believe in. Thank you so much for listening to this. Have a good day.